Okay, recording. Well, I can kind of just make like a general kind of statement about like I think the title is called "The Future of Velocimeter Phase 2 AMA," so it's kind of a fun title, but um, I think essentially the idea is that we're we're here on Canto, um, and we will be on Canto for essentially forever. Obviously, it's a like Velocimeter is a smart contract or set of smart contracts like running on a blockchain. So, but we like Caesar and I and the rest of the team will like 100% love Canto. Like we think it's awesome. Like the community, um, like the support that we've had from like the Canto core contributors and just the community in general is just awesome. The vibe is really awesome, and we think that it's like it gives us like early like Phantom vibes, even early like Ethereum vibes, and we're bullish as hell on Canto. Um, we're also like just generally like bullish on the EVM, um, and we're bullish on the whole space really, and we want to work with um, we want to work with the best protocols. We want to bring the best protocols to Canto, but we also want to work with the best protocols on any chain that they're on, essentially. Um, so the idea is that like Velocimeter will be the brand that will exist on multiple chains. Obviously, not in any rush. Like we'll focus on one chain at a time, and when the moment is right to deploy on another chain, like we'll do that. And today we're going to talk a bit about just how that will affect um, you know this community on Canto. Like so, and probably the main point that we want to get across is that people who are here now supporting us on Canto by being like Flow LPs or VE Flow holders. So anytime in the future before we launch on a new chain, VE Flow LPs and VE Flow holders, we want to airdrop VE Flow on the new chain. So the LPs thing is something that we need to clear up the maths on a bit because it's not as clear to us exactly how we can do that, but the VE Flow is just super simple, super clear. Like if you hold VE Flow on Canto, you will get airdropped that VE Flow on the next chain that we launch on. So, and that's just not just right, like not for VE Flow holders right now, but VE Flow holders up until the point that we launch at any time, you can lock VE Flow and you'll know that you'll get the same amount of VE Flow on the new chain. We think it's an awesome way to decentralize on the initial, like when we first deploy, we're already like decentralized with a community and a whole bunch of holders. Obviously, it's awesome for the holders because you're getting like a buy one kind of get one free, and it's also like we see it as a way to incentivize locking because ultimately what makes the flywheel work is people locking flow. Like we've seen on Optimism, like Velodrome was giving away OP tokens essentially for people to lock flow, or for people to lock Velo. And this is kind of we sort of see this as a similar kind of thing as well. So there, it's definitely benefiting the existing deployment on Canto. That's kind of an introduction to the main sort of thing that kind of wanted to talk about today. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, but that's kind of the main kind of big thing that I want to talk about. So if anyone's got any questions about that, just raise your hand and or drop them in the AMA questions. I don't know if Caesar's he's been muted for a while, so I'm sure he's here. But
I'm still here. Yeah, I was just letting you go through that. I have a few things to talk about, but that's the first thing we should get away. This what he's saying is an idea, right? We haven't decided which chain, we haven't decided when, we haven't decided even like exactly like what he's saying about the maps. It's pretty hard because what if you're in for weeks and they and then we snapshot that person get nothing, or that kind of stuff is difficult, right? But like the we just take a snapshot. We tell everybody we're going to do a snapshot. This day we take a snapshot. Everyone's at the chain. They just get cloned on another chain, which is super easy. The thing is like the problem with this idea is that the longer we wait, the harder it will be, because then we have to adjust the initial supply. If like say there are like 320 million tokens locked, then if we take a snapshot of that, then we have to increase the initial supply. On the new chain. The other thing they mentioned is that like partners will be excluded from the snapshot. So a partner who has an NFT Canto would not automatically get an NFT on another chain. They have to become a partner. They have to apply partner on the new chain as well. So that most likely they will be, right? Because most of our partners have come from other chains, right? In cases of some of them, have a project on another chain, they will be excluded. So all the partners will now be included in the snapshot. So no new partners coming yet. So let's talk about a few things. I have a list here, so I'm going to go through this list that I wanted to talk about. It's one open on here. Okay. Number one, I did an announcement yesterday, and I just wanted to verbally explain it, just in case someone has questions. An announcement about voting. So we didn't change the protocol of voting. So it's pools that I mentioned, like 5 million or this pool for 2 million, 2 million, 1 million will still the emissions. However, it will not be eligible to get a prize. If someone who has the NFT right were to vote on that, they would get a portion of the prize. Trying to figure out how to fix the front end to show this. It's kind of difficult because of the way the smart contracts interact with the front end and so forth. So a little bit of keep in mind that that pool, say like flow as human votes the protocol, you can reduce that human say partners. Yeah, we're still working with partners. There's a couple that we were hoping that they can announce and join us this week. It's getting kind of late. They might be able to make it in time. One of the ones that I'm most bullish for is multi-BTC, so multi-chain BTC. We're trying to figure out how to get, if we get, we'll start with multi-BTC, then we'll probably draw emission. Then you can see, hopefully more and more people will bridge because it will be a source of income for people who are BTC. I'm also talking to some just a few projects. I can't think the details on because they're deployed in ideation phases as well as phase and stuff like that. Trying to, deployment here on Kento, like new deployments. They might be forks of other ideas, but not just a project migrating their token, actually a native forking of a project or the fork change, like a change a little bit and fork deploy here to Kanto. So we're talking with some of these projects, but these things take a long time. So it might not happen very early because you have to test, you have to deploy stuff like that. Some of the projects that we have got over already are kind of just waiting for little last minute things. Like one of our projects had a little bit of a problem with setting up Graph GPT, which is just like pulling some data from the blockchain. It wasn't working well for the change some stuff. Yeah, because we have these that in the not so we would set as many partners as possible as we have the less information that we would need to like USDC node, right? Which is kind of usually is a mercenary pool where people rewards because it's all stable. Usually, right? Not always, right? But sometimes, right? So if we get more, the same amount of it go spread out. We definitely want partners best to get ones, but we have the right. Like if a product comes to us, want to pool and say on $2,000 start really mentioned also where the tickets are they all sitting in this kind of wallet? Is it a rug? All kind of takes time for us to try to get more partners. There are some good ones that we have in the pipeline, but again, I don't like investing the certain. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the recent people something, right? Because the went up like 60% and then 10%. Now, this happens a lot in projects, and especially the specific influencers that with so I'm not going to name specific or say who did or who didn't. It's a where someone a small bet that doesn't make such big revenue, but maybe make a red or a green candle. And it tells all this brand, shows it on Twitter. Basically, it happens, and there's not much we could do to stop it because it's permissionless. We not in the sense of like not that person how to do it or that person for us because it's the wrong thing to do in my so kind of what like it's not like it's not an individual person, but it's like it's an individual person, but a little bit course, it's like our boards and split and selling them, and that's people do a lot of aggregators. So sharing advertising, and that's the thing you with you can do to make that situation better. It's to encourage and bring into the system. Well, and that's what we've been doing. And aggregate content, which that it's service. They people you like not. I'm not going to use the aggregate because and they benefit to the protocol of kind of that lots and but yeah, that's the most part. We are open to questions, and that's why this is a stats which to give you a full answer. Onto the stage or the right, you just go up to the top right hand corner, little logo, click on that, and you can type to us. So the first question, see that what's partners competition versus the private one? Yes, absolutely. Many multiple months to be with and see what they say and maybe they bring or maybe they bring partners, right? So, yeah. Any other questions?
I'll say a little bit more about multi-chain.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, multi-chain obviously has the ability to bring any token from EVM to Canto. And the first one that we're like most excited about is multi-BTC because it's already on the bridge and we're just sort of in the final stages of getting a pool set up. I personally think that that's a game changer for us in terms of volume. It's because we can create a bunch of peers that just don't exist on Canto right now. And BTC's like, I mean, it's always been like an important trading peer, right? It's the king, right? It's like, and now there's just as well, you know, everyone's talking about BTC, right? So I think that we can generate a ton of volume, a ton of trading fees with BTC, like just on an ongoing basis. Yeah, multi BTC, it will be as long as we get the pull up, like we're just in the final kind of stages of getting the pull up, then yeah, it'll have votes. So there'll be more than one pool as well. But yeah, we're just like there's been one person bridge so far since the contract was created. So we're just making sure that it's all working, right? Like, so if once there's a pull up, then we're going to start bringing over a ton of BTC. Like, I want to see, you know, the TVL of Canto double with BTC. I'm not trying to bring like, you know, like 2 BTC. I'm trying to bring like $100 million of BTC to Canto. And I can't see any reason why there wouldn't be as much BTC on Canto as there is ETH or USDC, because it's a major asset, and it just makes sense that there's peers for all of that, so that people can trade between USDT, USDC, Canto, Note, BTC, right? and that should bring a ton of volume and essentially be a game changer for us. But just in general, the partnership with Multichain is really good, because any project that we're working with, we can just like essentially get them set up on the bridge, and get them over here. And Multichain has also like a AnyCall technology, which is similar to Layer Zero. So there's just a bunch of possibilities of things that projects on other chains can do to get to Canto in a way that is interesting and unique using AnyCall, or they can just simply bridge with Multichain. And so that partnership, just that relationship, like we value that a lot, and we're going to be working really hard to just bring a bunch of tokens. Like if you look now, there's like 3 or 4 tokens on Multichain Canto. We want there to be 50. Right? That's it. That's what we want to do. So, and the Multichain team's awesome, and we're working really closely with them to just keep adding more tokens to that bridge. And it's a game changer for Canto, I think. And also the Canto core contributors are also working with Multichain to do some things too. So there's it's good. And then obviously still we've got like the whole Canto the whole Cosmos ecosystem, which has been a little bit slower than I would have hoped, but I think we've seen $60,000 worth of bribes coming from the SOM team. So that, I mean, they've proved to be one of our best partners so far, right? Which is pretty awesome. So, I mean, there's there's 20 or 30 Cosmos chains or more. I don't know how many. And they're all people that we want to talk to. Like, we want those coins, and we want them to, bribe in a similar way that that SOM is doing, right? So that we can just turn this into a money printer. That's kind of my rant on Multichain and just generally about,
It's a multi-chain BTC launch next epoch, most likely. That's what we're basically spending free time trying to do, get the post up, and with something probably something so that it is quite incentivized to get people to migrate to the multi-BTC. One of the pitfalls of the BTC right now that you can go in the direction of BTC to you can only go BTC, multi-BTC on or BTC, multi-BTC on this area. Multi-BTC on now. Also working on fixing the E2L for that E to E. That's kind of the things that's kind of holding back a little, but not as much problem. But that's kind of the things we're trying to fix. I think we have to be marketed. Well, of course, we're going to treat it like this is a place. Multi-chain is also committed to sharing any opportunities that we going to make things and stuff as well. And of course, everybody in the whole community is more than welcome to do that and stuff. I make video already about how it works. It's great to share that with you. Do just cancel when was launched here. So it's a part of your own sharing of the opportunity. The only thing that kind of is lacking is that there is no other BTC. So maybe multi-USB, multi this it will not require that jump through the Cosmos. They have but this thing right now, we
We're gonna maybe we could talk. So you mentioned a little bit of stuff about the UI, like voting in the UI and stuff like that. Maybe we could also talk a little bit about the Firebird, like the idea of the Firebird router, and just any other sort of UI related stuff. Like obviously,
yeah. You wanna go first, or you want me to just first?
you can go first.
All right, that sounds good. I don't use more, but what even I would as more like what like what like for response to work well. It's hard to if we have a valid number to be considered when you go to be that you get on Thursday morning, right? Like that money to be transferred and claim it Thursday. It, what it's like now is that recently, but that can probably close the migration. Locking, and there is the possibility there is there's no way to stop that and check. But what we
I'll just say,
work with who use do almost all of my work with like
um, well, it's a big on the Firebird thing. It is a big deal because it actually means that we can restructure the way we organize our pools, so we can kind of concentrate on less pools and then sort of just clean up sort of it on one side it just kind of cleans up the UI a bit and also just makes it um, because you can have less pools, and because of like the multi-hop and because of multi-hop you can still get all of the routes with like way less pools, so which means that people can and it also means that we can have like more consistency in the APR, so people can just like kind of set it and forget it, whereas now each week, like obviously we're adding new pools and stuff, like, so I'm a big fan of the Firebird thing. I'm pretty sure that Firebird is the way that we're going to end up going. So, but I wanted to say, just like we've got 27. Me and Caesar just counted up before, and we've got $27,200 worth of bribes to claim this week. So I think I don't have an exact total of how many trading fees and bribes we're up to now for the since kind of day one, but it's sort of looking like it's over $80,000, which is pretty cool. Like we've only been running for I don't know, a month now, maybe. So I think, I think that will, that will just steadily grow, which is good, right? Because it's the whole point of this. So we were also going to add like just a count, like a simple counter to the UI, so that you guys can see, like what is the total bribes? Like we probably do like all time total and like this week total, so that just another kind of metric to kind of so people can see what's going on, and that should also help people make a decision like, do I actually want to lock flow and start claiming these bribes? obviously like one of our like main kind of things that we have to work on is making it just a no-brainer to lock flow, right? And obviously that helps LPs as well, because the more flow that's locked, like the higher the price of flow is, it means the better the APR is. The flywheel like relies on people locking flow. So again, like we've got two really good reasons to lock flow. One is that you can, there's $27,000 of, was it 27? Yeah, $27,200 of bribes to claim this week, bribes and fees. Plus, anyone who locks flow will have, locked flow on the next chain that we launch on, and there will be a next chain. Like the when and the where, like, is up for debate. I hope it's Ethereum, but it will happen. So, yeah, there's two really good reasons to lock flow, and that's a good thing for everyone, because that will in my opinion, that will ensure that the flywheel keeps going, and ultimately that's what we need to make this like wildly successful, which is what we want to do, obviously. So yeah, let me check and see if there's any questions in the chat. Anyone got any?
Free to raise your hand.
Or if you want to hop up and say something as well, you can raise your hand. Any takers to hop up on the stage and say hello? Just trying to think of what else there was to talk about. I mean, if anyone's got any like off-topic stuff as well, right? We can also, don't have to be like full velocimeter maxis all the time, right? Explain gauge killing, please. Caesar? Well, why don't you hop up and explain it, Torbeck? Why don't you get up on stage and explain it?
Get back here. We're working with the gauges killed. The idea of killing a gauge is it doesn't able to have the that shows. Basically, that or something else. Both hang on the box for us. Yeah, I think and nobody has we're
It's definitely going to happen, though, right? Like, ultimately, there's going to be a wrapper for. There's going to be vaults. There's going to be things that allow you to, have to essentially have a liquid, like to convert the VNFT into a liquid position, for example. Like, it's going to happen 100% without a doubt. Like, it's just inevitable, but no one's actually doing it right now that we know of.
question. It's like, have we had any communication?
Yeah. So I've been offering them to come and do an AMA. I did speak with Viv yesterday, actually. So, but it was on a different topic. It wasn't specifically about Scion. But yeah, we want to support, like, I mean, we want like a GMX fork on Kanto. Like, it's any project, any good project here, we're like 100% like going to support, right? Because it's just a no-brainer for us. Like, it's going to bring us more volume. It's going to bring more attention to the chain. Like, we want to see this ecosystem grow. So, if anyone sees a project of any kind on Kanto, like, bring it into our Discord, talk about it. Like, like, we'll let's set up an AMA with them. Like, let's do like a, do what we can to help. Like, and that's how we make Kanto like an awesome chain, right? And that's the spirit of, like that's how any blockchain's gonna grow and develop. Like, and Kanto's got like a really good open kind of vibe, so I think we can just make it happen, right? Like, if anyone's like a dev, and you've never launched a project before and you want to try it, like, message us and tell us, and we'll like do whatever we can to help support you. Like, because that's how we're going to win together. Like, there was a guy in here yesterday talking about doing like a term fork, and like, it's not, like, terms not great, like, just the experience everyone's had with term so far, like, to this point, everyone's like, term, they're all dead, right? But I'm personally still bullish on anyone that wants to launch anything on Kanto. Like, just as a general principle, like, obviously you have to do due diligence, and the projects can be rugs and stuff. But all that aside, like the general vibe is let's build stuff on Canto.
And then I was like, maybe I just from my phone, right? Like, some portion of your
uh, what else? Um, if anyone, again, like if anyone wants to raise their hand and hop and ask a question or say something, um, do it. Oh, we've got a guy working on some analytics kind of related stuff. So kind of just doing a better job with like, getting our numbers together. Like, and we've got Coordinate and D-Work set up. So there's an announcement also about that. If anyone wants to like contribute and earn VE flow, and maybe we can talk a bit more about that. Like that comes from essentially there's a portion of so every epoch, I think it's 3% of emissions is sort of set aside for like the team, and we've just decided to use that to give to the community, pretty much. So there's significant amount of tokens every epoch that will be earnable by anyone, like anyone here, anyone in the community that wants to do things. So there's like D-Work has a way you can just suggest ideas, and there's also some tasks up in D-Work. But like if you do something, if there's something that you want to do, like maybe you want to moderate like a channel in a different language, or maybe you want to do art, or there's a guy doing stickers at the moment, which is awesome. Like, anything that you can think of, just like say it and just, message us or just go into the channels. Like there's a whole set of channels under contributors, and just get involved. Like you can earn V flow, and this is how we're gonna kind of turn this into like a DAO like structure, and everyone work together to we've got the bots as well. We haven't mentioned the bots. Like all so ETH Boy added the bots for Velodrome, and he's added his bots. He created a Twitter account. Some of you guys are probably already following it. It's basically it's going to be posting like deposits and bribes and swaps. And then I think one of Caesar's friends also added like Watcher and Flow Locker, which so you can see that in the bots channel. So you've got bots and contributors. That's two new things that we've added to Discord that you can go and check out. And so that's two new things that have kind of happened over the last few days. So and there's sort of like business development. So I think the calculator guy is actually working on chatting with people in the Cosmos ecosystem. And so if anyone's wanting to introduce like projects like from within the Kinto ecosystem or from EVM or from the Cosmos or from anywhere, right? You can earn VE flow by doing that. And if you want more details about it, just hit me up, or hit up Caesar, and we can just kind of just make things happen. Want to say anything about the contributor stuff, Caesar? Mm. Cool. Yeah. I'll just say one more thing about the way I'm thinking about like this whole multi-chain velocimeter stuff is also that like it'll have the same brand, it'll have the same community, it'll have the same Discord, it'll be very similar code base. All of the pieces of the ecosystem that come around it, like these bots, the scripts and stuff that we use to manage everything, like everything that we're learning, all of the awesome people that we've like met while we've been doing this, like we're bringing all of that with us. And so it's like an economies of scale, right? And even like this kind of DAO, like the coordinate and the system for working together and for everyone to be able to earn as well, that will come with us on each chain that we deploy on, and we're just going to get better and better at doing this. And it's just, to me, it just makes like a ton of sense. Like, so I think that, yeah, we can, obviously we learn a lot from deploying on Canto. There's some features in the smart contracts, even just little tiny things that we might tweak. But we can essentially like stamp out Velocimeter onto new chains. And when that happens, everyone who's holding VE flow is having a share of that. And to me, that's just like, like a really awesome way for us to all make money. Which I'm assuming everyone is here to make money, right? So, yeah, that's kind of, definitely get involved with on the contributors side if you have anything at all that you want to contribute, even if it's something out of the box, maybe you're super good with like spreadsheets or organizing things, or just it could be anything, right? Maybe you want to get like a Velocimeter tattoo or something. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to quickly ask? Because I think Caesar said he's got to go soon, so maybe we can finish it up. If there's any last things. Oh, if there's anything else, just talk about it in the chat and stuff anyway. But yeah, I think we've done pretty well all in all for the first, I guess, month. Just about. We'll be coming up on the first month. It's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty awesome. And yeah. Oh, how would that work on new chains? How would that work on new chains? New supply or still fixed supply? So the idea is keep the same exact tokenomics that we have now. So currently, I think the initial total supply was like 300 or maybe just a tiny bit over 300 million. The team would get the same allocation or maybe even a little bit less. All of the VE, so all like the partner, like Caesar's already said, there's no point giving a partner an NFT if they're not even having deployed on that chain, right? So partners, we just exclude partners. Everyone who bought flow or farmed flow and locked it, that is 100% being airdropped on the new chain. So essentially, the tokenomics will be the same as what you see with the initial launch, except for there'll be more. There's going to be more. There's going to be more VE flow. Like I haven't looked at exactly what percent of VE flow would be eligible. That's something that we can kind of look at. But I expect for a lot of people to lock VE flow based on this. What we're saying today, like I expect people to think, okay, well, it makes sense for me to start locking flow. Maybe not like all of it, right? And maybe not for like the full 4-year lock, right? Like I've always been saying to people, like I wouldn't lock for 4 years. I'd lock for like 3 years or 3.5 because I just think that it's smarter. You know what I mean? Like if that's what I would do. So that's what I've been saying to people. But yeah, I expect there to be a lot of flow locked over the next few weeks because of this. And that's intentional. Like we want people to lock flow. That's what makes the flywheel work. Yeah, so no like shame in that, like saying that it's intentional. And yeah, also like it should help with the price of flow, which is also really important. But yeah, and so the only other thing to really say is that yeah, it wouldn't. So the tokenomics would be the same, but there would be the only connection apart from the community, the brand, the processes, and everything all being the same. There's no connection between if you hold flow on Canto after the deployment. If you hold liquid flow, you can't just bridge it to Ethereum or Arbitrum or some other chain and use it in the other system. That's the only thing else to really say. So that could change, but we're not going to say that will be possible because technically we don't have a way to do that. So we're not going to say that that's what will happen. So. They will have different prices. They will have but the one thing you can count on, yeah, you wouldn't be able. There would be no. There's no reason to arb them because they're not fungible. Like, but I mean, they could, yeah. But the one thing that you can count on is 100%. Like when we launch on a new chain, the VE flow that you have on Canto will be given to you on that chain in exactly the same amount, and it will have tokenomics will be essentially basically the same. Like, sure, maybe there's an extra 10 million flow or something on the new chain, but it's not going to be. You're not going to get diluted or scammed or anything like that. You're going to own a very similar share of the protocol as what you own on Canto if you have VE flow. And we'll talk more about the LPs and stuff later, but that's like a promise. I think it's pretty bullish. We may as well finish this up then, and if anyone's any more questions and stuff, we can just talk about it in the chat. You want to say anything, Caesar, before? Cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Peace, guys. See ya.